Call our meeting to order. This is a regular meeting of the Mayor and Borough Council of the Borough of Seaside, Park County, Ocean State of New Jersey, held on Thursday, November 30th, 2023, advertised to begin at the conclusion of the work session meeting, which has now just ended. Pursuant to the provisions of New Jersey's Open Public Meetings Act, adequate notice of this meeting was properly provided by transmitting the notice of meeting for publication in the Asbury Park Press and the Star Ledger on January 4th, 2023. Notice of the meeting of the governing body also has been posted in the corridor of the municipal building and in the office of the municipal clerk. Roll call.
Councilmember Armaville? Here. Councilmember Condos? Absent?
She's ill this evening.
Thank you. Councilmember Kraft?
Here.
Councilmember Dr. McKeon?
Here.
Councilmember Welch?
Yes.
Council President Michael?
Yes. Here. Sorry.
Mayor Pearson?
Here.
Thank you.
Let us all rise for a moment of silence to be followed by a pledge of allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The first item on the agenda is approval of the minutes. Those minutes are November 9th, 2023, a work session, November 9th, 2023, a regular meeting. Is there any corrections, deletions, questions? If not, a motion?
So moved, Mayor.
Motion by Councilmember Kraft, second by Council President DeMichael. Roll call.
Councilmember Kraft?
Yes.
Council President DeMichael?
Yes.
Councilmember Welch?
Yes.
Councilmember Dr. McKeon?
I wasn't here, so I abstain.
Councilmember Armaville?
Yes.
Motion approved.
And next, we have the payment of claims. It's Resolution 223-299. It's a bill list from November 10th through November 30th, 2023. Any comments or if not, a motion?
I'll make the motion, Mayor. I'll second it.
Motion by Councilmember Kraft, second by Councilmember Wilk. Roll call.
Councilmember Kraft?
Yes.
Councilmember Welch?
Yes.
Councilmember Dr. McKeon?
Yes.
Councilmember Armaville?
I abstain. I did not see the bill list.
Council President Michael?
Yes.
Motion approved.
Next are the resolutions. I'll read them in summary fashion. Number 300, identical to that which has been adopted by past governing bodies for many years. It's proclaiming Central Avenue as Candy Cane Lane during the 2023 holiday season. 301, approving payment of annual clothing allowance to eligible members of the Seaside Park Volunteer Fire Company Number 1. 302, appointing Class 2 trainees. 303, requesting the State Department of Banking Insurance to reject automobile insurance rate hike requests and freeze rates for the next 18-month time period in accordance with a recommendation from the Ocean County Board of Commissioners and other governing bodies. Next, urging the State Board of Utilities to establish a free 1-800 dangerous cable utility pole hotline. 305, adjusting compensation for part-time fire protection subcode official. 306, authorizing the purchase of flood insurance for one municipal plaza. 307, authorizing the purchase of flood insurance for Borough Hall. 308 is a resolution of the council awarding a contract to Pizzo Contracting, Inc., trading as Carl's Fencing, Decking, and Home Improvements for the J Street Recreation Center. 309 and 310 are interrelated as per the discussion of the work at the work session. Now they're following up on prior approvals and modifications from the NJDOT Municipal Aid Reconstruction Elevation Grants received on Bayview Avenue. Phase 1 is 309, and 310 entails authorization for contract change order number 1 for fiscal year 2023, NJDOT Municipal Reconstruction and Elevation of Bayview Avenue, Phase 2. Any questions, comments from any council members on any resolution?
306, 307, the flood insurance.
Yes.
We got involved in having to carry this flood insurance after Sandy and some of the loans we took from the government. And as a requirement of those loans, we had to carry insurance on these buildings. Actually, one was prior to Sandy. That was the preservation?
Renovation of the
Historic preservation or something like that. And they took a grant to paint the building or something. And this was back when Martucci was administrator. And as a condition of that, which nobody saw at the time, we had to carry flood insurance. Well, that building's up in the ocean, has a basement. Flood insurance initially, up to about, I don't know, five or so years ago when I got involved with it, we're paying close to $40,000 a year. So the amount of the loan was like $300-some thousand, and so we had to carry insurance. It was over $35,000 a year. It was ridiculous. So now it's down to, we went out and shopped it around, raised the deductible a little bit. Now it's about $80-some hundred. But I wish there's some way we could get out of having to pay that. And Karen, the other requirement for this building right here, that's, how much it cost? What's the premium for this
So
building?
the premium for this building is higher because this one's in a flood zone.
Right, and we've already had elevation certificates run on this building, and there's not a darn thing we can do about it.
Yes, the premium for this building is $89.76. For Borough Hall, it's $28.34. So it's
$2,800.
$2,834 for Borough Hall.
Yeah, so it used to be 30-some thousand for that premium per year. So we saved the money, I did actually, saved the borough quite a bit of money by shopping that insurance around. And the other, this building, there's not much more we can do with that premium, I don't think.
But the good thing is, the premium did not raise this year for this building. It's the same as it was last year.
But I'd like to know if this building could actually, if we have to continue this for some reason, why all of a sudden, if there's some way we can get out of having to pay that, I don't know, maybe we satisfied our loans or whatever required us to carry this insurance in the first place. I think there must be a mortgagee or something, lien holder or something on that that's requiring us. I really don't know why that happened. I kind of inherited that. So I don't know if there's any way to look into that somewhere, maybe Joyce.
Okay, I guess the question is whether we need it here or not. Do we still want it here? Because it did flood during Sandy.
Yeah, but we got a lot of other monies that paid for things. And, yeah, I mean, but maybe we don't have to carry that much. You know what I mean? There might be some way to lower it.
Is it higher deductible?
We're up pretty high now, I think. 10 grand, I think.
Okay, you're not higher than that. Free.
We could, yeah, we could. If they'll offer it,
Right.
yeah. But it's gone down, it seems like a big chunk of money, it's gone way down from what it was initially, so I'd like to know that.
Any other questions, comments on any resolutions from council? If not, it's not required by law, but our practice is to allow any public comments on any resolutions. If anyone has any, if they could give their name and address into the record. Joanne?
Joanne Penn, 208 A Court. It's not really a question, it's a comment. Well, it is a question. Has there been any when we talked about the Candy Cane Lane, and I was driving down here tonight, I went past the empty area on Central. And has there been any further discussion because what's going to happen to that property? Because we did talk about having a Christmas market there, and that's what kind of cued my memory as to, I don't know if it's appropriate to ask.
What property are you talking about?
Where they took down the Park Central.
Oh, in Park Central. I don't know, Marty, you know me?
We're going to be talking about that. We need to look at options and put that in the budget for next year.
This is the portion of the agenda for any comments we allow on any resolutions, if anyone has any. Yes, June?
June Korzinski, 114H, on 306, 306. Is that including the property, the fire trucks and everything, or is that
No,
Is that-
that's
that's
separate.
not.
That's separate.
not contents, it's just the building?
Just the building.
Just the building.
Okay, that's,
That, the fire trucks would be covered under, vehicle coverage, commercial vehicle coverage for fire. Well, should be comprehensive coverage under the
okay.
automobile portion of the policy, I would imagine. Through the JIT, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, June. Any other comments on resolutions? Hearing none, I would close any public portion. I'd entertain a motion from council as a consent agenda.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Kraft, second by Council President DeMichael. Roll call?
Councilmember Kraft,
Yes.
Council President DeMichael,
Yes.
Councilmember Welch,
Yes.
Councilmember Dr. McHugh,
Yes.
Councilmember Anfield,
Yes.
motion approved.
And that concludes the resolution agenda. Anything else from council at this juncture? I had one in terms of an announcement, and I know he had a school obligation earlier, but I do see him in our audience, our recreation director, Joe Toth, so perhaps I could have him make the announcement if we have three very fun-filled community events. So, Joe, if you...
Sure, thank you. This Sunday, we have our third annual Christmas market, might be indoors, not outdoors, but it's at the elementary school, 10 to 4. Tree lighting here on the lawn, 5 o'clock, and then the PBA party for residents is at 6 at Triborough. It'll be a fun time. Beach bag sales also start tomorrow online, and tomorrow on the weekends at the lobby of Borough Hall. We'll be there selling in the lobby. Sunday, it'll only be at the market though, so if you want the beach bags at the market. That's it. So it's gonna be good holiday, fun-filled weekend, and it's gonna be nice. Hopefully the weather holds out for tree lighting.
Very good. Always a very happy, community-oriented day with a lot of nice events, and we hope that the weather, it hasn't always cooperated on tree lighting day, but we go through thick or thin, rain, snow, sleet, we're always there, and it's a fun, happy occasion either way. So thank you, Joe. Any other announcements from council, anything further? If not, we'll go into the audience if there are any public comments at this time. If anyone has them, if they could give their name and address.
Yeah, Dr. Phil Newfrio, 68 Decatur Avenue. There was a news flash today that Seaside Heights may be reorganizing out of Regional Central. And I've been bringing this up for a few months now, that under a LEAP grant, which the Heights received, they're looking at reorganization. And I really think it would be in our best interest, Karen, if we could see if, maybe for our administrator could research this, to see if we could qualify for a LEAP grant, which is a low risk grant, to look at maybe we could reorganize out from Regional Central, maybe K through 12 with Point Pleasant. I've talked to a lot of parents over the last few months that believe, whose kids are going to K through 6, who wish their children to go to Point Pleasant. But I think it's worth pursuing. It's, again, a low-risk option that could get us out from this onerous amount of money that we're spending our kids to go to Regional Central. Thank you.
And Karen, as those on the council recognize, we have, our attorney has constantly been monitoring that particular issue, which is complicated and potentially advantageous for the town, and also potentially deleterious.
Yeah, I noticed also that Seaside Heights, they first have to get approval from Tom's River in order to proceed, and then it wouldn't be until spring until they get, before they would go before the Commissioner of Education to get their approval. So they still got a couple of hoops to go through before they could change what they're doing now.
Don't they have Vito representing them?
Don't they have what?
Maybe you don't get Larry? He's getting what? He's getting rich off of the Seaside. But if they could set a precedent over there, I mean, but before, what they did, they made us go through and get referendums, I think, in every town. That's a sending district to Central Regional, so
Let them blaze the path and see what happens.
we tried once, spent a lot of money. I hope they're successful. It would be good for us, I think.
Potentially.
Potentially.
Any other public comments? Yes, sir.
Tom Joseph, 704 South Bayview Avenue. A few council sessions ago, I don't even remember the context of when it came up, there was a mention that when Bayview Avenue or similar is flooded, the speed limit is reduces to 5 miles an hour. I think you mentioned that.
I think there's something on the books, and the our attorney could correct me or not, but there's something that it creates a wave that goes over the street. I don't think it's 5 miles an hour. I think it's 80 miles an hour. I think it's height of a wave or wake that come off the vehicles.
The way past the street line to the curb line is illegal.
So my fantasy is putting up a no wake zone sign in front of my houses.
Do it.
It's in the ordinance already.
Well,
When it's flooding.
the reason I bring it up, we had the last spell of flooding was, I don't know, week and a half ago. And it was, of course, flooded curb to curb and then some. And I'm sitting there looking out my front window, and I watch these big trucks going by at, I assume, 30 miles an hour, because they sure weren't slowing down. And of course, they don't seem to care. And I see parked cars, and, you know, the water's up to, you know, just below the body of the car until the truck goes by. And then it's at least 2 feet up. And if those cars didn't get water inside them, then they're pretty well sealed. I don't know how we label this, but we need signage, and I don't even know who you talk to make it happen, to put the requirement up there so that we can show people that there is a rule when the road's flooded. Because the next step is we invite our friends in the police department downstairs to get out and enforce it.
Well, I think it is an enforcement problem, but, you know, our chief who's not here is required, part of his job. He's supposed to be at these council meetings. He's the one that could address that, but unfortunately, he's not here.
But I'm not sure it's fair to the police or to the people driving up and down the street. If there's nothing posted, how's the average person going to know there's a requirement? Because I fully support the idea that there's a limit. I just like to see it posted so that nobody can say, well, I didn't know. And then let's get people out there. Because, yeah, when it gets higher, what happens to my place is when it gets close to the garage doors, these idiots that come by at 30 miles an hour, I get water in the garage, and I don't need that. And my neighbor has a worse problem than I do for the same issue. So I don't know who should be posting it, whether it's us in the borough here, or maybe it's a county road, maybe the county should be doing something. But if it is, how do we encourage them? Because it happens often enough that it's not an unusual situation. Anyway, I just like to see what can be done.
No, because it is a county road, and we do try to block those roads at times, and you'll see that, but it's, no, we totally understand what you're saying, we've had that complaint.
If you limit it to 1 or 2 ingresses and egresses, you can post a portable sign when you enter and say, no wake zone, because that's what it is. It's a no wake, it is no wake, it's no ordinance. I remember drafting it.
That's why we created that ordinance. I don't know, maybe you can call the chief and ask him if they can put up a sign on either end, because we do have those signs that say, you know.
It's enforceable for
And just say no wake zone.
No wake
You
zone.
create a wake, you're gonna,
And
at
it
least
needs to be.
any wake's created, it's gonna go over the street line and curb line. You
And
know
the big
that.
trucks, I think it's a fun thing for them, they don't really care.
They don't
I've
really-
seen it.
That's right, and we do have an ordinance on the books for it. We
Yeah,
do.
we can enforce that, I
Hmm?
think.
Thank you.
Any other public comments? Yes, Pat?
I am a member of the Environmental Committee.
I'm sorry, name for the record, please.
Oh, I'm sorry, Pat Russo, 137 10th Avenue.
Thank you.
I am a member of the Environmental Committee, and almost every meeting, somebody says, what's happening on the 14th Avenue hole? And I think when I was here in the spring, I heard that the engineers had figured out what has to happen, and that the town, Eric and the Public Works were going to start to remedy it as soon as the season was over.
Right.
So we're still waiting on DEP approval. And actually, I had a conversation with the engineer handling that project, Doug Meyer, earlier this week. There's been several different 30-day comment periods that DEP has extended because there's a slight problem with the way the bulkhead, you know where the stairs are that go down?
Yes.
The way that was supposed to be built, according to plans, is not the way it was built. There's a slight variation, and now DEP is kind of hung up on that. And so when Doug and I spoke on Monday, what he's going to do with DEP is take an overlay of what it was and what it is, and show them what a slight variation it is, and that actually by delaying this project is only making it worse. If they're worried about more erosion, the longer we delay, the worse it gets. So that's still hung up in regulatory land.
Okay,
But it's not forgotten, Pat, I assure you.
okay.
Nope.
Thank you very much. I'll report back.
Thanks, Pat. I know there was one question or comment from the work session or from the resolution agenda that's certainly worth addressing. It's not right for a final kind of discussion recommendation at this juncture, but that entailed some of the options and the question raised. I know the entire Public Works Committee's been working on it, as has the whole council. There's a architect who lives in Seaside Park donated a set of plans to the one property that formerly had Park Central Apartments, and that's being reviewed, how to adjust it, how to incorporate a set of stands in terms of a park and a lot of different multi-uses that would not conflict with some of the businesses across the street, but that's still being looked at through the committee and the entire council, I think, fair to say. I don't know if Marty... Yeah,
Sum it up.
but a very generous contribution at this juncture. It's where we go from there, whether or not there's any grant money, whether there's funding, how we would do it. All those issues are on the table. So. Any other public comments? Hearing none, I would close the public portion and entertain a motion from council.
I'll make it.
Motion by Councilmember Dr. McHugh, second by Council President DeMichael. Roll call.
Councilmember Dr. McHugh?
Yes.
Council President DeMichael?
Yes.
Councilmember Will?
Yes.
Councilmember Pratt?
Yes.
Councilmember Armadale?
Yes.
Motion approved.
Thank you. Thank everyone for coming out this night. Thank you.